Truth telling is the bedrock of good journalism. Straight from the heart, rely on for credible, undiluted analysis. It is thought-provoking. It speaks nothing but the truth to whoever is involved. Our presenters remain impartial and are only interested in truth-telling. The program comes your way Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's speak from our hearts, heal our wounds, and build Mama Liberia for good. Truth telling is the bedrock of good journalism. Straight from the heart on Sky 107.1 is that platform you can rely on.
14 political subdivisions of our country.
Unbiased analysis. It is thought-provoking. It speaks nothing but the truth to whoever is involved. Our presenters remain impartial and are only interested in truth-telling. The program comes your way Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's speak from our hearts, heal our wounds, and build Mama Liberia for good.
Mama Liberia, wake up. Mama Liberia, wake up. Mama Liberia, wake up. Mama Liberia. Ladires, wake up. Ladires, wake up. Ladires, wake up and pray. Ole life will wake up, oh, wake up and do something. Liberia, Liberia, Ladires, wake up. Ladires, wake up. Ladires, wake up and pray. Ole life will wake up, oh, wake up and do something. Ole life will try to settle things.
Good morning, and a pleasant welcome to another interesting edition of the program. Straight from the heart on Sky 107.1, welcoming you this morning. Today is the 11th day of August 2021. My name is Matthias Labindi. This morning, we're going to be speaking with Minister Eugene Fagon at 8 o'clock, at least for a few minutes. We are reaching out to Minister Fagon for is a particular issue. Minister Fagon presided, over a meeting regarding concerning the situation involving Dr. Nyako Joma's situation. It's something the attention of many people in the country. Why is this man being treated this way when he's a professional person who has made some contribution? And in fact, Minister Fagon confirmed to me yesterday that this man Nyako Joma, Dr. Joma, knows how to look for the money for car. The only thing he doesn't like is that he doesn't like to play by the rules. The rules in Liberia, the corruption rules. So for him, he likes to work for his money and just get his salary, and everything that comes for the institution should go for the institution. What is it that Minister Fagon knows about this situation involving Dr. Nyako Joma? He tells us at 8 o'clock this morning. But before that time, we're going to be looking into the scare tactics, applied now, that's been displayed by the Minister of Finance and his even his supporters, that he's going to see you today. I'm going to tell you why I think the Minister of Finance is afraid to some extent. I'm going to be right back. More information and some critical analysis, and you two are going to join the conversation to participate. Thanks to all of you who are joining us live on Facebook, on Sky Communications Liberia Facebook page, as well as those on YouTube on Sky FM and TV Liberia. My name is Matthias Labindi. I'll be right back.
Ladires, wake up. Ladires, wake up. Ladires, wake up and pray. Only like we wake up, oh, wake up and do something. Only like we try to settle things the way we need to be. Maybe it's all we need in our love it to go.
Can't you see the shining sun? We've been sleeping so long. No time for guns, no time to do wrong. Say the war is gone. My people be strong.
Only like we wake up, oh, wake up and do something.
All right, good morning. Welcome back. Listening to Straight from the Heart and Sky 107.1. We are here again this morning. Today is the 11th day of August 2021. My name is Matthias Labindi. Like I said, we have so much interest in what is happening to Dr. Nyako Ejoma, one of the experts there at KARI. And this man, according to the information, is a man who knows how to look for the money to bring it for KARI. He has too many partners across the country, around the world. People respect him, even international organization, a particular organization that wanted to put about $1 million plus into KARI, but needed the signature of Dr. Nyako Ejoma on the account, that they were putting the money. Imagine international partners requested that this particular individual, the owner, we're going to trust you people at KARI to send money there until you ensure that Dr. Nyako signature is on the account, which shows that this man, he has not just won respect home locally, but even outside of Liberia. So that's why I asked him, why do you continue to put your education, in a way that people will say, well, why is this man suffering himself? Why not leave the country and go somewhere and work? Say, well, I want to save my country. And that's not going to be the solution. If I do that, it's going to send a signal to somebody out there that there's no need for me to even, venture into helping my country. So it's better I just stay away. But Dr. Nyako Ejoma wants to stay and fight and get his money that's owed him. And then he stays in KARI to do what is right and ensure that KARI gets that needed support. Why I said the Minister of Finance, Simon Tuah, is scared. That's the word. I'll use the common word. He's very scary. Now, first of all, before I get to giving you reasons why I think he's afraid, is that I first want to ask you, all right, you may not be able to be a CEO today. You all know that CEO, by the way, is Liberia's premier intellectual centers in Liberia. Now, that's it. Liberia all the way, right? All right. So that's Liberia's premier intellectual centers. CEO, the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions. It's right there on Kerry Street. And today, the Minister of Finance is going to be the guest of that intellectual platform at 3 o'clock. All right. The minister is not, he's from the steps I've seen so far, some of the moves he has made as a minister who's going to face some intellectuals, the moves he has made, made me not to conclude that he's a scary man. All right, intellectually afraid. He's intellectually scared to face the young people there at the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions today. Clearly, like opening your chest to bullet and say, listen, I am here. Throw it at me. Whatever you have. I am the Minister of Finance. I am on top of the fiscal policy of this country. So yes, throw it at me. He does not have the intellectual calories to open his chest to serious intellectual, engagement from the public. That's the reason why I have suspected that this man he's taking two major steps I'm going to share with you this morning that will prove my analysis that Minister Simon Tuah is afraid to face real intellectuals. That's the reason why he's making some moves. But by the way, before we get to that point, I want to ask you a question. Yeah. Amidst these kind of difficult times in the country, if you were to have an opportunity to ask the Minister of Finance questions, all right, if you were to hear him on a platform, because obviously I know it's going to be carried live on some radios, the Minister of Finance can appear at the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions, and it's not carried live, on Facebook, not just Facebook, but even on radio stations. I'm very sure that's going to be in. But the unfortunate thing is that some of you may not be able now to call on the radio, the various radio stations that is going to be on, to ensure that you participate. It's not going to be a participatory program with, involving the general public where you call in and contribute. But if you were to have such opportunity, what specific question would you have asked the finance minister today? Maybe you can pass your questions through me, because even though some of us may not be able to have seat over there today because of the kind of bureaucracy the guys have created regarding the finance minister's appearance at CEO today. But if we have the chance, now the program is at 3, and imagine that's the critical time for me. That is nothing to hard time. So just by the fact that it's at 3, that alone excludes me from the number of journalists. Chiles is laughing. Seriously, the fact that it's at 3, that excludes me from the number of journalists that are going to be seated there today. I really wanted to sit right at the front row of of that particular area to ensure that I look in the face of the finance minister and ask him some questions. But I know somehow, some way, I'm still going to be there. Yeah. But let me tell you why I think the finance minister is a threat. First of all, as an African, no man has the right to go to my house as a guest and tell me that you cannot eat the food prepared by my wife, but you bring your cook in my house to prepare for you. It's an insult. What do I say that? Someone is saying, what is this boy saying? I'm giving you a very simple analogy so that when I hit that point, you know exactly what I mean. In Africa, apart from Africa, anywhere around the world, does it make sense? I want to ask you this question, you gentlemen out there, does it make sense that you invite your friend, or even not a friend, maybe you invite a public official at your house, maybe it's just a big guy, whoever, it can be a public official, business person, money friend, one of your rich friends, you invite that person at your house. The person is your guest. Does your guest have the right whatsoever to tell you that the food that is prepared by your wife, or I don't want the food that your wife is preparing, I prefer bringing my own cook to prepare my food in your house as my guest? Hey, my brother, your visitation time ends immediately you say that to me. Now, let's go to CEO. The Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions, according to what Mr. Adolphus Weah said here on Monday, he said it's an independent platform. He's non-partisan. He has no affiliation, serious political affiliation with any political party, but he takes support from everywhere, meaning the center is open for everybody. That makes it independent. All right. So Mr. Weah was here and he used our platform to inform the public that Minister Twere was appearing as CEO on Wednesday, which is today at FLAC. This appearance now, the Minister of Finance, without mentioning the names of the individuals that he has chosen to go and serve as moderators at CEO. Imagine that. The Minister of Finance is going as guest at the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions. And he has already selected his moderators, meaning, for those of you who usually go to CEO, meaning the people who usually moderate the intellectual engagement at CEO, they are now worthy to moderate because the finance minister is appearing at CEO. So they're going to be leaving their seats, which I see as a form of disrespect to the intelligentsia group of young people that I see there at CEO. Disrespect from the finance minister to the young people there who usually host that particular center. They maintain that center. Because you go into finance to the center today, you're saying to the guys, no. Maybe several factors will contribute to that. Number one, he's afraid that some of the guys on the bench, on the moderator's bench, will ask him or will give other people, critical minds, the opportunity to ask the finance minister maybe embarrassing questions that he may not be able to navigate through. That's one factor I see. Another thing, the finance minister, how he goes about encouraging people to go to school, which is a good thing. That, yes, it's a good thing to say, yes, young people should go to school and all of that. Maybe he does not also trust the intellectual ability of the young people that usually moderate CEO's decks or CEO's intellectual engagement. So he's saying, no, these guys are not really, versed with the English language. So therefore, CEO, I'm going to come at your center under one condition, that you allow me to choose my moderators. I come with them. So meaning, if the finance minister is going at the center there with his own moderators today, the names I'm not going to mention, they are professional colleagues of mine. I have no issue with them, and I don't even intend to mention their names. But I'm just saying to you, he has selected 2 media individuals, all right, who maybe the public thinks otherwise about them, but that's not my business. As far as I'm concerned, they are professional colleagues of mine. That's not the issue. The issue is not with the people that have been selected by the finance minister to go and moderate, to serve as moderators, as is appearing as guests at a platform. How do you people interpret? How do you explain? How do you define insult? This is a question to the finance minister. Mr. Minister Simon Tuer, how do you define insult? I want to ask you a question. When the government of Liberia is signing some funds and all of that, recently there were 3 financing agreements signed, right? Do you wait? Do you allow the finance minister, even if the signing is done in Ghana, do you allow the finance minister of Ghana to represent Liberia during the signing ceremony? Because the signing is done in Ghana? No, let's put it in context. Let's open it up, because I think we are fighting to ensure that we increase enlightenment in our society. And you leaders, wherever you come from, however you are, you need to ensure that you put your trust in the young people of this country, that they are capable, they have the ability to represent this country at every time. To say to the young people at CEO that, listen, you guys are not qualified to moderate as I'm appearing as finance minister. That, for me, you've already condemned their education. You've already condemned the entire platform. That you are finance minister, when you appear, money smears on you. Therefore, everyone should kowtow to your power. I don't know how they call that particular vocabulary. Seriously, that's how I see it. I see it as a form of disrespect to the intellectual class there at CEO, and many other young people may be listening to me this morning. That you come into my house, Mr. Minister, but you're telling me, say, listen, Matthias, though I've not eaten, the meal that is prepared by your wife. I've heard a lot of people say that, yeah, she cooks very well, but honestly, I wouldn't like to eat her food. I'm coming with my Coke. I will tell you, Minister Tuer, even if you are coming to my house with 50,000 US for me, first of all, you have to turn around and just go back. If you come here and you tell me that the food is going to be prepared by my wife, you cannot eat that, but you have to come with your Coke at my house, then I'm sorry. Let's go back. Because I am an African man. I'm not going to let you disrespect me that way. But this is about intellectualism, right? So he's saying to the young people at CEO, you guys are not fit to moderate when I, as finance minister of the country, appear. Africa's best finance minister is appearing. And you want to have the usual moderators at CEO to sit down and then moderate for me to sit down and to stand there and talk. Isn't that a disrespect to me as finance minister? Hey, I like to bring my own moderators. As if that is not concerning to the intellectual class of the country. A young guy called Aloysius Howell. Aloysius Howell works for the finance ministry. All right. I am told Aloysius Howell is the chairman of the Gladiators. The Gladiators, I think, for finance ministry, Gladiators for the CDC or so. His member of Pupa as well, I'm told. And Aloysius, this guy, yeah, he's a good writer. I follow him a lot on social media. So Aloysius posted on social media yesterday around 4 o'clock. And I was taken aback. He said, all is set. Minister Simon B. Tuer Jr. will be at CEO on tomorrow, Wednesday at 3 p.m. And only accredited media institutions will be out to provide coverage of the program. Please do not miss this. Now, accredited, that's the word, underscore. You remember now, I've already told you that the finance minister is afraid. I'm giving you 2 major reasons why I think the finance minister is afraid to open his chest to the intellectual class of this country, many of whom are going to assemble today at CEO to ensure that they will keep their hands up. Even if you say that your fingers or your hands should be up for 30 minutes, the young people will sacrifice and put their hands up for 30 minutes until they can ask him the questions they want to ask him. But this kind of scare tactics that's not been employed by the finance minister, it shows that, well, man, the young people are aware. They know my jargons. They know the rhetorics. They know the things I've said. What more can I do? And there may be no PowerPoint presentation over there for the finance minister to display his graph. So maybe the young people may want to hear him, see him explaining about the graph, not just by saying it in the mouth, like he did to T-Max and showing a paper on the television and say, here's the graph. And T-Max, I could just see T-Max looking at the graph and confused. What is this guy showing me? But T-Max, you're an accountant. I think you understood the graph very well. But unfortunately, today at CU, I don't know whether the finance minister will have the chance to display the graph. I would suggest to the people there, to the guys there, that you quickly get some kind of, what should I call it? It's a PowerPoint something, so that he can be able to display the graph on the PowerPoint presentation, that people will see that graph that he usually talks about. Then other young economists who can go there and look at the graph and do some analysis. Then they should be allowed to raise their hands up and ask the economic questions to Africa's best finance minister. If this man, if Africa's best finance minister, if he's Africa's best finance minister, I don't think anything like discussing an economy like Liberia, the fiscal policies of this country, should give him difficulty that he will employ all these scare tactics to just face a few handful of young intellectuals as CEO. Now, accreditation of media houses. Aloysius is saying, only accredited media houses going to be allowed. Now, here is where I came in. I got concerned. I got concerned. I said, no, listen, this is concerning. Let me look at. Oh my God, give me a little break. Okay, so I came in and I asked him a question. I asked Mr. Aloysius Howard a question regarding this particular accreditation thing he talked about. So now I wrote him here. Hold on. Give me a little break. I got concerned and I tried to ask. I asked him a question. Let me go back here. So Aloysius Howard now did not even tell me where media houses, are getting their accreditation and all of that, how we can get our accreditation and so on. He didn't explain all of that. I was concerned about it because that you tell everyone be given at this point, from this point to that point, you trusted, because that's how you do it. If you want to open it up for other media people to get around and ask the questions, they should know where they can go to get the accreditation. Unfortunately, Aloysius did not provide the information. Here is where I came in. After that information I've read regarding the accreditation, he said, all is set. Minister Simon D. Tuah Jr. will be at CU on tomorrow, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Only accredited media institutions will be allowed to provide coverage of the program. Please do not miss this. I came in. I said, do you mean accredited to provide coverage of the program or accredited to operate as a media institution? Please help me here, sir. Aloysius came in. I replied. He said, to provide coverage, meaning accredited to provide coverage. So media houses are going to be going at CU today, which even though it is an open air platform, I want to put it that way. It's not going to be in an enclosed environment. It's going to be in a public space. They're even going to be infringing on the rights of other people by taking one side of the road at the Kerry Street there. But yes, it's understandable because it's an intellectual engagement and all of that. Very serious one at that matter. But to say that media houses should be accredited to go and provide coverage, to provide coverage at that particular center in the streets, then now that was not for me an issue. Then I went further. I say, okay, Mr. Howard, okay. So who's issuing accreditation for an intellectual engagement with Minister Tuah hosted by CU? Because I really want to be there, sir. He asks me, which media institution do you represent? Sky FM, sir. He never came back to me. I don't know because I mentioned Sky FM or, he did just want to be bothered anymore because he saw Sky, but he never came back. I came back 2 different times and even went under another person's comment and requested that he tells me where we can get the accreditation as a media house. I'm going to hit the point and another point at the end of it and open the lines. Then I came back. I said, are you dear Mr. Aloysius? How? Then I came back again. I'm still waiting, sir. He never replied. But here, when he was chatting with Betty, my sister Betty Johnson Mbayo, Betty also came. She raised concern. She said, what is accredited? And I also, what is accredited? It's concerning, right? We're young in the profession, but some things that you people, you politicians, some of the bottlenecks and bureaucracies you try to put out, it doesn't make sense. You can't be in a open media space like that, and you telling me that only media houses that are accredited should go there as CEO, accredited to cover an intellectual engagement as CEO. CEO, you have to make sure that you organize this thing properly, because it will come a time if this thing is not handled, because finance minister, the most powerful person in the country, is appearing at your center, and you are letting the finance ministry to dictate to media houses how to go about providing coverage. So CEO needs to also consider that, listen, we have been partners of the media for a very long time in the software. So please, all these bureaucracies, please, we just need you to open it up a little bit so that these people can have access and provide coverage. But anyway, so Betty asked a very good question. She said, what is accredited? I came there and replied to her. I said, the man said they are accrediting they're accrediting institutions to provide coverage of the program. I'm still waiting for his reply to enable me get SCARS accreditation. I'm at the same time wondering, CEO and MFDP, who is hosting who? I don't know whether the finance minister hosting CEO or the CEO hosting finance minister, but it seems like the finance minister has his way at CEO. It seems he's bankrolling CEO. So that's the only way he will go over there and say, I will come with my own moderators. To hell with the guys I've been moderating here all along. All right. So Aloysius came back. Then Betty came back and said, I don't think accreditation is needed. He answered, he responded to Betty and said, why not? And Betty said, because it is an open space and specifically a public figure. And I replied, I said, Aloysius Howard, why haven't you told me where are the accreditations issued? Or is it needless because it's already done? Obviously, the government-friendly media institutions will obviously be selected in this case, that critical voices, critical media houses will not be allowed. Because I was on this guy from the time he told me about accreditation. I saw the thing on Facebook. I was on him until he never replied to me. So, my people, have I not provided you enough reasons why I think the finance minister is afraid to face intellectuals, young intellectuals as CEO today? Another thing quickly. Yeah, one last thing. As we go about doing these intellectual, engagements, public officials mostly, they get afraid to account. That's the same way President Weah is afraid to account to the Liberian people. That's why he said, if he releases his asset, if he publishes it in the public, the lives of his family members may be at risk. For me, again, that is an insult to the intellectual class of this country, that the president declares asset, according to him, to the LACC, but making it public will endanger the lives of his family members. So 14 counties elected this president, and he still thinks that people here want to kill him. Anyway, let's have a conversation. What do you think? Have I provided you enough reasons why I think the finance minister is afraid to face the intellectual class today at CEO? Let's hear you. Call us on the numbers 0777 777 107, 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223, 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program. Listening to you straight from the heart and sky, 107.2. Matthias Labindi, welcoming you on today's edition of the program, straight from the heart. Let's hear you too. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Matthias.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
My name is Aaron Badre, and I'm calling from the office of the Military Bureau on the Western of Vancouver Avenue into community this morning.
Your introduction and easy. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, thank you for your analysis. I 100% agree with you on the issue of the CEO. Even in our institutional version bureau, it can happen. We trust our intellectual committee, whatever it will get, will be whosoever. That intellectual committee is responsible to motivate our own program. But now they get to come with a route or coming with people to motivate the program.
Okay, thank you so much.
What you said, the CEO are all our brothers are very top money in the show.
I didn't get that. But anyway, thanks for your contribution on the program this morning. Let's hear you. Call us on the numbers 0777 777 107, 077-221-223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. The only reason why a public official like the finance minister will want to do that, to come with his own moderators is basically to that when it gets to a certain point where maybe the intellectual engagement gets tough and he's making a lot of points and that critical minds are also raising concerns, he will certainly, people will certainly be prevented from asking questions because I know the guys that are coming to moderate, they know a lot of critical voices around that. So they may not be given a chance to speak out as well. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Mataya.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
This is Abu Rahman from Police County.
Go ahead.
Mataya, thank you for evolving the opportunity on the platform this morning. Mataya, please help me to explain my experience. I encountered yesterday.
You say what? What you encountered yesterday? Where?
What experience yesterday in the health sector. For example, my wife.
Go ahead.
Mataya, yesterday.
So where you calling us from? You say. Go ahead.
She was going to be on the phone yesterday. She gave us the all the week which she fell down. As she yelling, I came from home. Before I can tell me, oh, your mom is okay. I came there. She had to watch, she couldn't walk, and she didn't pray. So they worked out about yesterday, what? So for the home health clinic, what is your building in fact? The town or town I visit, the Shami Pond, the door in Metro. So they put the post out, they put the one you can't call it people. But it is out the same what the chief of the member. So they call it Amula the next year. But you look for 4 times or keep it. And come all the money. Because it's $1 for the
Listen, I say, excuse me, my brother. You have our number, so you call after the show. Then we can talk about it. I think it's a very important issue. Then we can maybe give you some.
Number, right?
Yeah. Call after the show. Yeah. Let's hear from you. Call us in the numbers 07777. The numbers you can call us in 07777 107 077 221 223 07777 107 07777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us in to participate on the program this morning. Let's hear from this. Okay. Let's move on to another person. Call us on the numbers 07777 107 07777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on. Let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Good morning, Matthias.
Matthias, good morning. Let's hear you.
I'm Jeremiah Mosu Masakwa, calling from Town Resident.
Go ahead.
Okay, when it comes to the selection that the finance minister did that you're talking about, sometimes we young people will get somewhat happy when meeting people that there. So maybe depends on that. If there are critical voice that will very only.
Please speak up. Please speak up, sir.
So maybe you brought critical voice, or you brought people or really auditing or really asking questions that meaning that the public will get very something that you want to explain. So we don't want to be quick and say if you're afraid of maybe certain things and the reason why you choose his own people, or sometimes you come up with the laziness from the intervention center to himself. Because if somebody comes to your house, I think without every right, without everything to suggest to him, or sitting there for the matter to suggest and tell you who you should bring on board to ask you a question or to quote him and make that ask you question.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for your contribution but to say I should not be quick to say that. Let's hear from this other person. Good morning.
Good morning, Matthias.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Thank you. This is James Mauna, and I'm calling you from 12th Street.
Go ahead.
Let me extend my thanks and appreciation. You know, Matthias, even though you have your right to express what you think and believe, but for me, I don't see it from the angle that you have seen it from.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
By saying Mr. Samuel Tuwe is afraid now, both CEO and the team of Samuel Tuwe agreed that this thing should happen.
You think so?
Not I think so, I know so.
Okay.
Now, are you telling us that Julius J from OKFM?
Or they are the moderators?
Julius J, yeah, Julius J, and they got from, how you call it, radio station, all over town. They are they will be the moderators. They will be controlling the phone. So it does not suggest that Julius J and his colleague will be biased in the program. No. They will only be there to put things in order. Any other question you have.
Okay.
Any other technical question
I get you.
Let's
hear from this other person here. Thank you. You see that to put things in order. Now you get that. They only be there to put things in order, that the moderators there are disorderly. In other words, that's what you're trying to say. If you say you know so, then I think something happened in your absence while you were not there. Because I was at CEO yesterday. I listened to the murmuring from some CEO members that for them, they don't see it that way. Some old members of CEO, some prominent members of CEO, they're murmuring already. So if you maybe accept you want me to tell you some actions that probably could be taken there today because of that. But anyway, let's hear from this other person. Good morning.
Good morning, Mathias.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you. Please go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Make your point.
Thank you. No, I listen to you.
The guys prolong a lot. You know you listen, that's why you call.
Okay, yeah, man.
What to go speak? What to go? Is that where you do conversation? I listen to you lengthily and all of that. What is all the delay for? You have 1 minute.
Yeah, man. Someone on the line for 2 minutes. Let me talk now. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Some of just said to the topic that we need the best finance minister that going to Africa. Let me say this. It is not wrong. For example, for CEO to say that the minister of DTS at our PM, he was doing the water. I don't think the minister was just come up with that. That was equal with the two people. So for the finance, other people, see a role in we want to graduate or child who is certificate graduate of our chairman to credit media institutions. It means that all the institutions, the media institutions in this country, they are all low. We are all laborious. But we want to carry people that will carry over the story. So God, let's go to some media institutions, a media practitioner, and we'll go into our organization. They will bring the support into the story that will be able to satisfy the curiosity of the
Okay. Thank you so much, my brother. Thanks for your contribution. Let's hear from we have somebody there. All right, please. No, you have to hold the line on the side. Let's hear from this person on the main line. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Bill M. Kwesi, and I call you for the office in the Federation of People Use this morning.
Go ahead.
I think that here at our institution, they had one of the best moderating boards. Even the chairman passed through the ring and fast of that moderating board. So for the final minister to get their own moderators, I think that intellectuals will stop on our mistakes, but we'll be there to correct all the mistakes and can start all of.
Thanks for the contribution. Let's hear from this other person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
My name is
Go ahead.
I don't have a problem with radio station, English,
you are in a noisy background and you're talking low, and when you're cut off, then you have issue with why people cut you off.
You got me?
Let's move on to another person. Please call us on the numbers 0777 777 107, 0777 107, 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program. Even normally we do that. People stand in a noisy environment and call someone on the phone and they want to talk to them. Let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mantayo. This is Manuel Wablo, the national chairman of Namusu.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much. Mantayo, understand to us
that the finance minister will commend his appearance as today.
What do you mean?
Because that's what that's what happening. If the guy from finance minister office for an employee will impose that he need a specific group to cover this program, except on it, he will provide that's cosmetic appearance. Okay, that's what makes it.
So how does Nambusu come in?
Yeah, Namusu guys will be there, and critical minded people will be there. We have done a serious research that will appear there today to listen to his deliberation, so that we are serious to get there. And even if he brings a cosmetic moderator, we don't have problem with that as well. We will understand from where he speaks, and we will make our point from there. And I think he will deny or in the process of speaking.
Okay. Thank you. Let's hear from this other person. Mr. Barclay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to use this platform. Let me say thanks to you.
Jeremiah Testimony Barclay of Pupa, right?
Yeah, you have my honor, my dear brother. And let me say thanks to the entire workforce of Sky FM for the kind of work you do.
Go ahead.
Even your sleep. Okay. But I think you raised some salient points. What normally happens at intellectual centers as well as on the radio, if you are having an interview with a high profile personality or personalities, I think what you normally do, you really, then you call maybe somebody from Fabric, you call somebody from Joy, just give you an example, but you who are the host of that particular show who have to be there, even if you bring people to pick up the strength. I think that is what you're supposed to do. But to silence the entire moderating bench and bring in new moderators just for that day, it doesn't make any sense, because it means that then the play does not even work to be called an intellectual error, because intellectual to be intellectually trustworthy to interview anybody
at all times. Thank you, sir. Let's hear from Mr. John T. Pillay. Go ahead.
Sir, good morning. Good morning to the people of Liberia.
Go ahead, sir.
What I think the best thing will be done to ensure that the purpose of the meeting with the finance minister is met, whether we will be by guest, OKFM wire station, or the organizer. I think the best thing will be done to the end. The Minister of Finance will now be giving special privilege, that is asking questions as people of government. I think it will be questions that the Liberian people want answers that the Liberian people are waiting to get. So the best thing will be done for everybody to be satisfied. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Pillay. Let's join the Voice of America for 5 minutes of news. When we come back, we'll hear from Minister Eugene Fagon. We're still going to go on this issue. You can stay, join us, and make your point if you tried getting through, but you didn't.
Parts of the world.
When I was growing up, my parents and my uncles, everybody was tilling the land. We went to fetch water and carried it in our bags. We went to fetch firewood and carried it in our back. But we all moved to Nairobi, to the big city, and everything has changed. We are spending like almost 3 hours in traffic, seated in a car. Then from the traffic, you're going to the office, and then again, you sit the whole day. And then from there, you sit again in your car, and you go back home. And then you sit again to watch TV, and then you lie in bed.
I'm Professor Vibar Cregan-Reid. After the news, join me for Changing World, Changing Bodies in the second of 4 programs on the BBC World Service. I'll be investigating what modern life has done to the back and why the World Health Organization says it's the #1 cause of disability today.
Hello, I'm Neil Nunes with the BBC News. A Chinese court has jailed a Canadian businessman for 11 years for spying in a case that's caused a major rift between the two countries. The Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said the sentence given to Michael Spavor was unjust and absolutely unacceptable. More from Robin Brandt.
The court in Dandong in the north of China sentenced him to 11 years in jail, adding that he will also be deported, although it didn't clarify when the latter would happen. Mr. Spavor ran a business in the city just on the border with North Korea, where he organised cultural visits. He was arrested in the days after the Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou was detained in Canada, accused of fraud. Her extradition battle is expected to come to a head soon. The Canadian authorities insist the cases are linked, accusing China of hostage diplomacy. It's something Beijing has denied.
The Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has flown in to rally his beleaguered troops in the besieged northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif, now under pressure from a Taliban offensive. President Ghani held talks with prominent local Tajik leader Atta Mohamed Noor and the warlord Abdul Rashid Dostum about defending the city as Taliban fighters inched closer to its outskirts. More from Sanjay Dasgupta.
Mazar-e-Sharif, a crucial city near Afghanistan's northern borders with Tajikistan and Uzbekistan, has long been a bastion of anti-Taliban militia, and its fall would be seen as a catastrophic blow to President Ghani's government in Kabul, which probably explains the president's flying
forces retreated toward the desert. It's the 7th regional capital to come under the control of the Islamist militants in about a week. But President Biden says Afghanistan's troops outnumber the Taliban and must want to fight. The U.S. president claims he does not regret his decision to withdraw American troops, noting that Washington has spent more than $1 trillion over 20 years and lost thousands of soldiers in the Afghan war. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed issued a call Tuesday for all eligible civilians to join the armed forces as fighting rages in multiple regions of Africa's second most populous nation. It comes less than 2 months after he declared a unilateral ceasefire in the war against the Tigrayan rebels. Northern Ethiopia has been racked by violence since November after Abiy, the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize winner, sent troops into Tigray to topple its regional ruling party, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, or TPLF, vowing a swift victory. About 9 months later, the TPLF has made advances into neighboring regions while aid workers struggle to reach cut-off populations. The United Nations says 400,000 people face famine-like conditions in Tigray. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced his resignation on Tuesday over allegations he sexually harassed at least 11 women. The three-term governor said his resignation would take effect 14 days after this announcement. His resignation came as the state legislature mounted a campaign to remove him from office by impeachment. Cuomo continues to deny he intentionally disrespected women and said the allegations were politically motivated attacks against him. Cuomo will be replaced by Democratic Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, a former member of Congress. She will be the first woman to serve as New York governor. And the deeply divided U.S. Senate on Tuesday passed an infrastructure bill designed to invest $1 trillion in improving the nation's roads and bridges, improving access to clean drinking water, and providing broadband internet. Via remote, I'm Marissa Melton. This is VOA News.
You want choice? You get up. It's a banaro. Takunche. Sibiripira patala. You unega wancha. You want John Wish. You not ever palava. You want choice? You get oka. You want wrong with speed. Why you want show? You want show? Why you want show? And I mean, I just came a little grip. Where my hand not reach, I cannot force it. You now on salary, but you want them a check. Why you want them a check? When the moko finish, then you start to bid. You not got here, then you want some more weed. You can pay bill, then you want LC. You say the food not sweet, but you still eating it. Tell me what it forcing you to chop it. You unega one cha. Yo. You want John Wish. Look. You not ever palava. You want choice. You got oka. You want wrong with speed. Why you want show? You want show? Why you want show? Yo, all I chatting and you doing my hand inside. While I ever ask a friend, tell your hand from inside. You want the pizza, don't eat pizza, you hungry, kata. Slow your speed and get prepared for the rebounds. You only wish you realize you only got one child. You go for meeting to bring your child, then you start to cry. The thing you not able, you go that you will show the give up. Making money with you, then you spend it on labor table. Your family crying, you're begging, they got no food on the table. Watching yourself on big show, that fake flow. You get big mouth, then you say you big shot. You got down to a fold, you get beat hard. You talking too much, your mouth full of salaba. Sooner take break, you prepare for a palava. You better stop it, I have it, I think it's necessary. Don't make me scary, I hear it, I think it give me headache. Up to my vision, I'm good for strapper. Strapper. To my vision, I'm good for hustlers. Strapper. Direct to my easy putting you in Gulikata. And you know, say your podcast stay in the garage. You know, your ma, you still want out of shit. Younger black, but the money you want take seat. You now want drink, or you choosing anything. You can buy spray, but you want something sweet. Your teeth are correct in your mouth, you want eat meat. You now get self when you send me for credit. So why you got me booty, yeah? You not get TV, but you get buying this. You not get boyfriend, yeah, then you want marry me. So out the sky, they make me fall upon. You only get one shot. Yo. You want John Wish. Look. You not ever palava. You want Jorgis. You get Oka. Look. You want run with speed. Why you want show? Why you want show? To my vision, I'm good for strapper. Strapper. To my vision, I'm good for hustlers. Strapper. You only get one shot. You want John Wish. Yo. You not ever palava. You want Jorgis. You get Oka. You want run with speed. Why you want show? Why you want show? It's a Bonaro. Takunche. Siripila Patala.
It rains on the beat.
That's right. You only have one child and you want John Witch. When they eat your one child, then that whole witch business finish now. You're not going to be a member of that witch, kingdom anymore. And you know that you're not able to make fuss and you want to throw his at someone whose life has been associated with confusion. But good morning and welcome to Straight from the Heart on Sky 107.1. We are here again this morning. We are here Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 o'clock. Today is Wednesday and it's the 11th day of August 2021. We promised you that we're going to be reaching out to former Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information, Minister Eugene Fagon, to share with us what he noticed during the meeting that he presided over involving the situation regarding that Dr. Nyakwe Joma from Kari in Bond County. So Minister Fagon is on the line from the US. And now he's going to tell us briefly about that. But after that, we're still going to go right back to some of the issues that we were discussing earlier. I mean, particularly the finance minister's appearance today at the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions. Minister Fagon is on the line now. Good morning, Minister Fagon. Thanks for joining us on Straight from the Heart on Sky.
Good morning, and let me say good morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia.
Okay. Yeah, it's better now. Thank you so much, Minister. Thanks for coming in this morning. Yesterday we had on the program Dr. Nyakwe Joma in the afternoon. We actually wanted to speak with you. Yes, you gave us your audience, but we didn't have the luxury of time. So thanks for agreeing as well to join us again this morning. But you had a conversation. Let's just hit the nail on the head and move on to other things. You had a conversation with you presided over a meeting at one point involving Nyakwe Joma and the authority there at Kari. How did it go? How did the meeting go? How did you, by the way, get involved into Kari's situation?
Well, I think, first of all, thank you. Again, good morning to the people of Liberia. It's a pleasure to be with you. And let me say thank you guys at Sky for the work you do every day to our fragile democracy. I've got cold this morning, so I'm going to try to manage.
Yeah.
But on my way one morning to meet with Honorable McGill so we can go our normal walk. Very early, I saw this person lying at the junction in what looked like a standing McGill's fence with a black head. And he was wearing a medical vest. And he narrated that he had been permitted, he not been permitted to see Minister McGill. And he was told by people that Minister McGill had ordered his firing. I said, I don't think so. However, to him, we took our walk. I told him to put the placard. He did. And I told him to wait for me at a restaurant. Let me confront Minister McGill. And when we came out, Minister McGill did not even know him. And then I said to Minister McGill, but he's a professor out there at Calgary. He works with the livestock or animal stuff. The guy is saying that you order his firing. And McGill said, how can I order somebody firing? I don't know. And McGill was being sincere. So upon our return, we stopped and talked to him. And McGill said, Eugene, can you handle this situation? Because once again, involved. So I said, okay. I decided to give him some time. And once we had a chit-chat here in Citizen of Government, and I gave him time to follow up with me. I myself was getting the runaround, and I said, this cannot be, and it will not be. And so after some time, I was not getting any headways. And then he appeared to Minister McGill's junction, and this time he was lying on the ground in his medical vest. I tried to talk to him, and he explained to me that this has been unfair. You know, he's not had a job for over a year. He had a little girl and a wife, family, so to speak. Things were going very, very bad for him. And these things touched my heart. I said, but we said we were going to do this investigation. And of course, he was right. I think it had taken over a month or so. So this time around, I decided that I will leave work if I have to, but we will get to the bottom of it. Long story short, left him that day at the restaurant. I went to Minister McGill and I said, sir, if you did not say to fire this guy, then there is a need to get involved. Unless you said they should fire him, but if you didn't, then you need to clear your side as well. So we pick up the phone, we call Carrie and Dr. Flomo, or Sumo.
Yes, Sumo.
Dr. Sumo keep on the line. We connected Dr. Sumo with Dr. Joma and us. And Minister McGill was furious. Mr. McGill said, did any of you people at Carrie tell this man whom I don't know that I said you should fire him, something to that effect? And Dr. Sumo said, no, he met the man already fired. And when he went to the fire of this individual, he said that this man was dismissed. He had walked on the dismissal. But nobody could fire him, Joma, but that Joma was fired. So Mr. Bagel said, on what basis? And he began to explain. And Mr. Bagel said, but it makes no sense that you walk into an administrative position and without investigating, you are now continuing the dismissal of this man. So I will let this Papa work with you all, and he will report to me.
Mm-hmm.
So we sent for Dr. Sumo, and we sent for Dr. Joma. Dr. Joma, lawyer, was there. And then a prominent pastor also was also there. He came to my office. And as everyone was seated, and Dr. Sumo began to go through the situation involving Dr. Joma, everyone concluded, not even me, that Dr. Joma was a whistleblower on what appeared to be some real serious corrupt allegation that even involved the generator and the looting of Carrie's monies by previous administration. And then we also learned that Dr. Joma had been suspended whatsoever, but that Carrie, one lady by the name of Paulette Finlay, who was deeply involved with this act of corruption, alleged act of corruption, just single-handedly, without what we read in the handbook from Carrie, without consulting the board, and what I'm saying, Dr. Sumo is aware, in my office, there should be minutes of that meeting, and she had gone ahead to dismiss Dr. Joma, because Dr. Joma had blown the whistle. So everyone, including Dr. Sumo, realized that Dr. Joma was the victim of a alleged criminal act that had gone bad. That he was accused of being a team player. What really bothered me was the fact that Dr. Sumo, and I'm saying this, I need to repeat it twice. Dr. Sumo had invited Dr. Joma to come to his office and Dr. Sumo had invited Dr. Joma to come to his office and sign a dismissal letter.
But Minister, let's get some things here. Paulette Finlay initiated a dismissal of Dr. Joma from, Carrie. So why then, why then the new ORC is now asking Dr. Joma to come and sign the letter? Is it that the dismissal did not take effect during Paulette's administration?
That is exactly why I said to you, what baffled me was that the OIC who had come in had met them then out of job for 11 months, had not been paid, would somehow try to correct the records by sending for him and convincing him to sign a dismissal. So I asked him, was it you that dismissed him? He said no. I said, was it you that investigated and found him guilty? He said no. I said, did you consult the board as your handbook suggests before my eyes? Dr. Sumo said no. So I said, but then Dr. Sumo, on what basis did you call Dr. Joma to sign dismissal from Carrie?
Yeah.
So he said he was trying to make sure that all records at Carrie were intact. I said, you cannot do that. So I said, we're going to agree here that Dr. Joma, who was wrongfully dismissed, be returned to his job. And that it be clarified that at no time did Minister McGill ask for Dr. Joma to be dismissed and not come around Carrie. So I said, I will dig deeper because this is embarrassing to His Excellency President Dr. George Biden, we are in his government. We did not come here for that. Our government came here to fight corruption. And if a whistleblower comes forward, a generator is missing, tens of thousands of dollars gone, and somehow the whistleblower becomes the victim. And there were two of them according to the investigation, but one had been considered and the other one had been very far. Then it was there that I understood that there were some legislative politics. I repeat, legislative politics that did not favor Dr. Joma, and that some members of the caucus were fighting Dr. Joma because they were somehow in cahoots with Paula Finley and getting kickbacks.
Minister, you presided over the meeting. Do you know some of the members of the caucus that, you know, the public? We can do our follow-up.
Where I do remember the name, what's his name? Marvin Cole.
Okay.
I do remember Prince Moyi, and I think another guy, Sokana Jala or something, was being mentioned. But it's been that there was a battle between like two legislative factions as to who's going to show who has power or not.
But how did their battle, their individual battles, affect Dr. Joma? How did Dr. Joma get affected by their battle?
In my candid observation, they had manipulative powers over Dr. Sumo.
Okay.
Again, in my candid observation, they had manipulative powers over Dr. Sumo. And I could see that somehow Dr. Sumo felt threatened not to carry out their action.
Okay.
However,
okay, go ahead.
Let me conclude. When the dust settled, we all concluded, including Dr. Sumo, that Dr. Joma was illegally fired, and that the firing occurred with Dr. Finley, first of all, not in keeping with the handbook, not consulting the board of directors, and lying about Dr. McGill, not Dr. McGill, and lying about Minister McGill, ordering her to fire the man. Therefore, it was agreed to amicably resolve the issue. I was tasked with a responsibility to plead with Dr. Joma to let go because of budgetary constraints and the complexity.
Budgetary constraint against the government or Carrie?
This man had not been paid for 11 months.
Yeah.
And if it was wrongfully dismissed, then you're supposed to pay him and reinstate him.
Yeah.
But Dr. Sumo could plead that he made no money there, and it was going to be difficult to pay this man for almost a year. Where will he take that money from?
By the way, Dr. Joma is claiming. By the way, Dr. Joma is claiming 18 months. But Minister, before we go further, this is a very sticky issue, and the good thing is that you, as a man whose truth telling has put him in trouble with the president that led to his dismissal. I think this is the truth that people are still, because of that. That's why people are still following you on social media or many of your live programs you run. Now, I want to go back to something quickly. The government is aware of corruption at Carrie. Paulette Finley's name was involved, and she's now in the USA. There are recordings out there in the public that show that the Carrie's, items, properties of Carrie were stolen and sold by the administrators there. Do you remember any action taken by the government while you were still Deputy Minister of Press and Public Affairs?
I think what I remember was that the government was going to constitute an investigation, and it was based on that fact that Paulette resigned and left the country.
She resigned and left the country without undergoing investigation, corruption allegation leveled against her, and somebody, a whistleblower, in your own explanation, got in trouble because of the fact that he stood for the right thing. And this lady resigned. She's out of the country. No investigation whatsoever till now. Is that the case, sir?
Yes, indeed. Like I said, if we really do a very serious investigation, other big hands will be pulled into it, especially from Bug County. I repeat, other big hands. Again, what really happened was that agreement was finalized. Dr. Joba accepted. At that time, it was like 11 months or so to a year. I stand to be corrected. Let it go. Dr. Joba was supposed to be hired. Instead, Dr. Joba was given a 3-month contract that he did not understand. They got me involved again. Minister Bagil asked me to get involved again.
Minister, sorry, sorry, for interrupting you, please. This thing is really complex and it's heart aching. You presided over this thing. Somebody was told to waive what they worked for, despite the humiliation. This man saved the country from losing close to $1 million. And this man was rehired. Should we be talking about rehiring here or reinstating this man, restoring his dignity? What do you think, sir, in your mind, should have been the right thing to do in the case, in ensuring that you handle Dr. Joma's matter?
Well, we did not talk about hiring. Dr. Joma was supposed to be. If you give me a chance, I will explain.
Go ahead, sir.
Dr. Joma was supposed to be reinstated. It was agreed upon. There was no such thing as rehiring. Now, later, 1 month after that, we were called by Dr. Joma and said that Dr. Subo had given him 3 months contract, which was unacceptable. When I spoke to Dr. Subo told me that because of the way the budget ran, he was going to accommodate Dr. Joma for 3 months and pay him on a contractual basis because Dr. Joma was not captured in the previous budget, which was understandable. And then in the upcoming budget, Dr. Subo said he would then hire Dr. Joma only, incorporating him in the upcoming budget, which was understandable. So I'm surprised that after the 3 months of hiring, that somehow he continued to push his man around. These are some of the things that have got the current administration looking bad in the eyes of some of the people, because they don't understand why we don't take the necessary actions where we are supposed to take them.
And this is a very critical situation. Now, I still don't it still doesn't make any sense for someone to say, waive what you work for, and we're going to get back to this. Now, Minister, quickly. Now, the situation is at a point now where Dr. Joma, now, doing your investigation, let me ask you this question. Doing your investigation, were you able to, get the details regarding some close to $1 million that was coming to Kari through some partners, and the partners requested that Dr. Joma's signature be affixed on the account of Kari to ensure that, because they trust him internationally, and Dr. Joma, his signature was not inserted on the account, and they told him internally, according to the information I've gathered from Dr. Joma, they told him internally that he should tell the partners that yes, his signature is now on the account, where in fact he never had his signature on the account. When you heard these things, were you able to gather all this information regarding doing your discussion with them?
The same thing Dr. Joman told you, the same thing that he told me. When I confronted Dr. Subo on the serious allegation, Dr. Subo said, according to Paula Finley, Dr. Joman was not a quote-unquote team player.
That's the particular.
I don't know some document that would have brought in half, not 1,500,000.
Yeah.
To the entity, but I refused to sign. And then I said to Dr. Sumo, but given what I have heard from you and the documentation before my eyes, don't you think Dr. Subo was justified, if at all it happened, in his action, given the fact that we now know tens of thousands of dollars was stolen, including very expensive generators from the entity and other items? Don't you think he was justified to try to save the Liberian people and the government the serious embarrassment of looters and thieves?
And what did he say?
He said, well, that is what Paul Finlay wrote. I said, if I was in the same situation, I will not bring in $500,000 to be stolen by people who had walked scot-free from the amount that they stole previously, including items from the entity. I will not do it. I will not affix my signature for further funding that will be stolen.
And now,
what I believe
go ahead,
is to work with Dr. Kuma, since you are the new boss, to make sure that the entity survives and thrives.
Minister, what is your take personally? Now, yeah, you are a supporter of the CDC, but you're not an ordinary citizen. You're not a minister again. Yeah, but you are on the social media raising critical issues about Liberia, be it the opposition or the government. What is your candid opinion that you share on this particular issue? Just in summary now, the way it went, people reportedly stole from Carrie. Today they are working scot-free. Paulette resigned without being investigated. She's in the US. I reached out to her. She said, whatever way you want to report it. That man should not be given credence. The corruption was not investigated at Carrie. This man saved Carrie close to $1 million. That is $500,000, $500,000. Now he's facing persecution. His family's lives are threatened, according to what he's been saying lately. He's not at peace at Carrie, worked for, and it's happening right in the full glare of the president, of the government. What is your candid opinion, sir?
My candid opinion is that Dr. Joma is a victim of a criminal cabal operating at Carrie, and that they do not want him around because his presence disturbs their criminal actions at such a needed institution. My candid observation is that if President Weah or Honorable Nathaniel Fallow Mageo does not act to remedy the situation and to have Dr. Joban reinstated, then they should form part of the what Representative Smith called the kleptocratic regime that President Weah is running, which of course is not true, but these are the kinds of things that cause an American representative to sit in America to use the government. It should not be happening. No one should run away, come to America, and then the person who tried to save the government is prosecuted without the intervention of the authorities. What is going on at Carrie right now is shameful. How do you take a professor at Carrie and you wrongfully dismiss him, but then you put him on the contract with the agreement to reinstate him fully when the new budget kicks in? But when the new budget kicks in my opinion, it seems as though the criminal cabal again kicks him out in order to rob Carrie. That is why Carrie is not giving us the kind of output that we deserve as a country, because there's a criminal cabal involved at Carrie. And I can say that because I was involved. I think the president or the relevant authorities, the board of directors of Carrie, the Minister of Agriculture, should.
All right, that's Minister Eugene Fagon there. He's there. He's speaking to us from the US about this very critical situation that is going on at the.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
If Dr. Joba is not reinstated and the criminal cabal brought to light and justice, this will hurt His Excellency President Dr. George Manuel Weah and his entire government, and it will form part of a list of criminal cabals that have operated under his regime. It is my hope that he will act expeditiously to remedy the situation before it affects his re-election date 2023.
Thank you so much, Minister Fagon. I don't think I have any other question for you. It's so much a pleasure having a conversation with you, and I like how passionately you spoke about this issue. I sense truism in some of the things you said, many things you said. I sense patriotism. I sense nationalism. You're not putting the government, the people against the government, but you're only asking to restore dignity in the life of a man who has worked to obtain this country to help. His presence at Kari alone attracts something that you are aware of. But to be, treated the way he's been treated is quite unfortunate. Thank you so much, Minister Fagon.
My pleasure, and thank you for having me.
He's once a minister, always a minister. He's former Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information, Minister Eugene Lami Fagon. They're giving us information on the situation involving Dr. Nyakwe Joma there at Kari. Now you've gotten some of the information, so we're certainly going to have Dr. Sumo someday as well on this particular issue. It's about us reporting the issues in the country and getting, results. That we're reporting on Dr. Sumo, and by the time we talk one or two times, we let it go. Now, the more we continue engaging different people, I'm very sure he's going to get, some redress. So for some of you who listen to our first segment of the program and you listen to our analysis regarding the appearance of the finance minister at CEO and our, just the discussion we just had with the minister, the former deputy minister, you can also join us now on the line. Call us at 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223, 0777 107, 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us and to participate. I know many of you have heard about this Dr. Nyakwe Joma, situation. Many of you have listened to him. Many of you have seen him protest, at the home of Minister Nathaniel McGill. So let's hear from this person on the line at the home of Nathaniel McGill on this particular issue, but there's been no redress. And now you listen to the former deputy minister admitting and confirming to you that, yes, this man is the man who is rescuing Kari. With this man there, the government is sure of saving millions of that. Let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Matthias Labendi.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
My name is Mosu Kira, calling from Broad Street.
Please walk away from your monitor, sir. Go ahead and make your point.
I do not. I'm calling directly from my phone.
Okay.
I'm not near a radio.
Oh, okay. I'm just getting an echo. Go ahead, make your point.
Yeah, the situation at Kari, I think it's something that you have to get that a voter Palestine.
Yeah.
Because since the issue got started, we have now heard the start of voter. And for Eugene Fagon, to reframe the issue at the area there as a criminal cabal, for me, I'm just surprised at him. Why you didn't say it from the beginning at the time when he was in government?
The man just said to you, hello. If you listen to Minister Fagon carefully, he said to you that he couldn't talk about it because he was an insider. And it's because he spoke about some of the things in the country, that's why he even got dismissed, that he provided message.
Yeah, but Eugene Fagon always gave me nomenclature to such and that. Again, he said any government was a criminal cartel. Now he has given a nomenclature saying the issue at Kari is a criminal cabal. So let Eugene Fagon explain as to the issue that happened between Dr. Joma and the former administration. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the contribution. Oh, the society. I think the minister explained a lot. He explained a lot about what is happening at Kari. He mentioned almost everybody from the stealing, from the reporter stealing initially up to the current situation. Let's hear from this other person. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Let's hear you, sir. Mr. Kimayan.
Yes, I'm Lawrence Kimayan, speaking from Denver Street, Snapper Hill.
Go ahead.
Many largest that Eugene Fagon has is that he was an insider. He was not guiding governance, and he was under dissent. So because he's out, so he's just talking that. I think people should love Liberia more than sycophancy and hypocrisy that people want to portray. I think he should have given President we are the best advice or the code of conduct who have been to the best administration.
But the man was not the advisor to the president.
I carry right now. I think government should step in so that a better investigation can come out, because administrator taking a generator, I think it's not cohesive. That is, you are taking the resources on your personal use, and I think it's not good. And you are public servant. If you don't want to work for the system, don't work. But if you are working, represent Liberia, I think you should not represent party like Eugene Fagon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's hear from this other person here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. John T. Pili.
Yeah, good morning to the minister. You know, to be fair, let me appreciate Sky Event family for the effort, you know, in bringing out the truth as to what actually is happening at Kari in regards to the salary of our brother, right? And I want to commend also the minister, you know, as they explain his role he played in the past. I think they're extremely well, you know, to first of all ensuring that Minister Mangay was actually not part of anything to get someone out of Kari, and also engaging the authority at Kari to ensure that they pay the men. But as he said, there must be something going on at Kari, which is a call up, and they don't want him there. So what I think he can also have to do, though he's out of government, but he still got Mangay's number. He still can call the president. I think he used to call Mangay and the president or whosoever that is needed to be called to intervene. My man, you can't wait for almost 1 year. You can't take pay.
I tell you, man.
That's not fair. Most especially people get you out of the job because you're seeing the wrong thing and you want to save your country and they want to keep you out. That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
But Mr. Pili,
Mr.
Pili, come to think of it, why would Pauliette Finlay, despite all of the corruption allegation hovering over her, run away from this country, settle in the US, and stays there, still reportedly influencing decision at Kari?
There is something big that happened at Kari that a lot of people are connected to.
And that is why the minister is saying it's a criminal cabal and someone is having an issue with it.
Of course, that's true. Something big happened there and it's still happening. So people fear that if we should let certain people get in, it will expose most of them. And unfortunately, I'm so disappointed in Liberia. Is that the first time people stole from the country and run away? You remember the lady from the aviation authority doing Ellington?
Yeah, Ellen Cochran.
So America too should be helping Liberia. These criminals here run away and then they shoot them. That's bad. And I think they need to help our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pili. And they are their citizens. So most of the people who steal from here and run back in the States, first of all, I think one of the things they do first is that they regularize their status there, become citizens, and they go back. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Fine, thank you. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm going to applaud you for the topic.
Go ahead.
You see, Liberia, they will never understand. When you are in a system, it will be difficult for you to, especially when you are down the line, it will be difficult for you to even advise. If you even advise, the people will not take the advice. And then when you do something, they will hunt you for it. Like they said about Liberia. If I don't have people in Liberia to talk about the evil in Liberia, they're going to run behind. Can you imagine the man started criticizing the government? They never get a man car. They give a old car when inside they can be smoking. They may use the windshield. He juice stick when you get really the windshield off. They do glass or you got juice stick it up. The fellow complain. But he knows about the cartel. But you can't talk. You look at the kind of people this way.
Okay.
When the issue is carry, my brother, a fiasco because what Maggie had inside Jovia got nothing to do. Because anything Maggie said to Jovia is final. Nothing will even come from other end.
Okay.
So the fellow who got a problem, it's just that things are very difficult. It will be difficult for you to get money. And this is what too we want to look at the drug relationship. Matthew, if somebody is a citizen of America, you're Liberia, you're a citizen of America, you have that citizenship. If he commits crime in Liberia, it can be very difficult to bring that person back to Liberia to prosecute that person. So we got to look at the drug relationship. This is what I want for me. I'm not guilty, but that's the main point. So the people agree that once you commit crime, if you have a drug relationship, you commit crime, you run away, you go to Liberia, you go to America, and we will send for you there. the American government be ready to release you to us who are legally prosecuted.
Okay.
So that's
Thank you so much.
very much.
Yaki Williams, you have to hold the line. Hold the line a little bit. Dr. Nyankwe Joma is on the line. Let's hear from Dr. Joma briefly and move on to you, Yaki, there from New Jersey, USA. Good morning, Dr. Joma. Did you listen to the Minister Fagon?
Yes, indeed, I did. And almost all what the minister spoke of, I can confirm, indeed, the meeting did occur. However, given he was minister and they are busy with their schedule, the aspect where he requested the my arrears laid to rest, he did propose it. He said there are some things in negotiation he let go. But I did not conform to that. But we didn't go further. We said, well, Minister, I've been protesting in front of the mansion. I've protested at the American embassy, which they accepted my petition. I have stood for what is appropriate. Hello?
Go ahead, you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've stood up for what is appropriate. I did my best. I could, and I continue to. But it will be somehow difficult to let my arrears go. The government owes me, I think that was 12 or 11 months at that time. So the only good thing is that let me be paid my arrears, because Paul F. Finney said it. He said, we'll take your money, we'll use it.
She told you that before she traveled to the States?
Yeah, there's a recording to that. Yeah, there's a recording on that. He said, yeah, I will use my arrears. And she said, I will divide it with people that are linking up with, and you will not get your money. I said, no, that's not going to happen, because I've done nothing wrong. Preventing you for taking $500,000 just to put into the pocket something that will benefit almost 20,000 fish farmers, I cannot and will not tell that. And if the situation arises again, I will make similar determination as the head of program.
Dr. Joma, did you affix your signature to any 3 months contract after doing this, higgledy-piggledy situation that you are still going through?
Yes, I did. I did affix my signature. It was like a due rest. I was forced
to. Due rest?
Yes, because when Dr. Sumo brought this, the whole contract was skewed. It was very skewed. And we all sat. The whole essence was, it's a consultancy that comes with government institutions. And Dr. Joma, you being an employee, your name, your payroll, your money here on the payroll has been taken and given to some people that Paula brought in right now. So to get those people off and get your money back to you is difficult. So we just want to get your money. I insisted no and no and no. But however, be it as it may, sometimes you break when it comes to making some decisions. So because of that, we said, well, only to get the money from the consultancy and to be able to do. That's the only way, because right now, government, when they allot this money for consultancy, is now channeled through the civil service agency. It no longer comes directly to the entity. So
Dr. Joma, you are inside. You are an insider of CARI. You work there, and Paul F. Finlay is accused of corruption. Recordings are out here in the public. Some of which I have in my possession as well. But you are confirming to us that despite the fact that Pauliette is in the U.S., she still has an influence in CARI?
Indeed, she has. She has, along with Mervyn Cole. They are. In fact, Dr. Sumo made it clear. He said Dr. Joma is sitting in a political seat. It's very difficult. It's true. In fact, you won't believe it, Matthias. Those people that looked at CARI property even broke into my house, took water pumps machine that was for the entity, for BHEP project, took wheelbarrows, took food from my house. All 5 are currently in a plot of CARI, protected. In fact, they have been given position. I wrote Dr. Sumo of communication, and I forwarded it to him and others. I think you may have a copy. That the culture of impunity must not go as it is. These people broke into the residence, they put next to my throat, they pulled me down from my vehicle, they nearly murdered me. Why will you protect these people? And he said, Dr. Joma, it's so difficult. I said, no, just do what is appropriate.
Not everyone.
Let me bring this to the attention of Liberians. Even right now, from what I understand, there is some level of corruption at CARI in the tune of, I think, $60,000. I understand, because materials that were coming, like rebooks and other things, understand that the OIC, from what I gathered, is unconfirmed, but it's clear that they requested for money because there was no operational fund. So they requested for money, and only the Public Finance Management Act of 2009. When it's paid off for X quantity you purchase it. But I understand he requested for money. And instead of being 4 or 18,000 or 10,000 real bushel we brought in, they brought only about 2,000 and the other one converted to money. And not only that, fertilizer. I mean, you go there and make the inquiry. Look, Matthias, let me tell you this. Liberia, problem can be solved by Liberians. It's just a matter of people we have in the governing structure.
But not everyone is ready. Listen to what you're saying. Now, even though the information you're providing now, the latest one, it's not confirmed yet, but not everyone will have the audacity to go through what you are going through, deprive your family of their right to live and enjoy life to the fullest as an educated person. If they were in the case of another person, they would have just fallen prey to whatever thing they asked them to do because they want their families to survive. What you're going through, not everyone will want to go through that. So how can we Liberians, those of us down there, change this country when the leadership does not get fully involved?
Well, sometimes I think it's the upbringing, the society we find ourselves. And for me, I've always said repeatedly, where we grew up, it's somewhere it was discipline. You just couldn't do what you are doing. And it's just difficult. Now, most often, these things is not brought to my attention. I don't go around looking for trouble. Most often, they want me to side with them. And when I say no, then it becomes a problem. And they say, well, since the guy has said no, he already knows what he's supposed to do. Let's get him out of here. So is that work that, of course, is where Dr. Joma resign and go? That's not going to happen. And so that's why I wrote the letter to the president requesting his intervention. And fortunately, you will know, Matthias, the president and I, we got into action through Scarborough 1983. He was a friend. Nathaniel McGill, Samuel Twe, and others, we all graduated with a golden class, 2001, 2002 at the university. If you look at the souvenir program, you see Oral McGill picture is there, my picture is there, Samuel Twe picture is there, and others. So you see that kind of unique relationship. So it's about time that Liberians begin to do what is appropriate. We got all the resources here. We got the weather. We have iron ore. We got gold. We got diamond. There's even years of oil. It's just a matter of making Liberia what we all emphasize. Rather than going to Europe, America, and you come home and you brag about these countries, when your country can even be better. It's just a matter of finding 2 or 3 persons like me, and we will transform, or at least begin the process of making Liberia what we can. And so I want to appeal again to Honorable Minister McGill. Indeed, granted what Minister Fagon has said is true, you are not aware of it. Kindly intervene, let me get my 18-month salary. I'm only requesting for what I work for, maybe only my 18-month salary. Because if now international partners now are even expressing concern on the letter I wrote to the president, suppose someone comes and says, okay, we'll finance this thing to quote. It will not be $30,000 United States dollars that government owe me. I will sue for the humiliation.
And I pray they can just listen to this voice and the way you are passionate, the way you are concerned about your country. You don't want to just drag your government into some kind of international embarrassment and all of that. You're asking for what you work for, something that even the Minister Fagon has confirmed. All right, he's left the line. Dr. Joma left the line. Yaki, go ahead, make your point.
Good morning, Matthias.
Good morning, Yaki Williams.
I'm calling in response to one of your caller earlier who said America should help Liberia, and people come here and America shield them, and, away from, that they commit in Liberia. And, which of course we are the ones indicting those people that come in here that we believe still never been charged or prosecuted jurisprudence, competent code of or jurisdiction. So when they come over here, the Liberian government knows the process to get some of them. Because for instance, in the Costa situation that, Costa from prosecution, Costa was never charged and he left the country somehow. That's beside the issue. But most of the time when people serve in the government and we hear about them, thievery, get involved in what you call corruption, and those scandals, and then they come over to America, then we believe that this country have to just send them over. There's a process. If your justice ministry have not, bring down formal charges on those people and go through the process along with the foreign ministry to make sure that the indictment is sealed, be open maybe in America here at the embassy of Liberia, or it can be open in Liberia, whatever place they open the seal of indictment, so then they can go through the process to get some of those alleged criminals that came to America, but America don't shield nobody. Yeah, the only time they protect people who run away from their country that has, supposed charges on them, if the government is a despotic government, maybe like a dictatorship, then they tend to protect those people because they don't trust the government in office. The government is not democratically functioning. But, I know that they are emotional. Emotion is one thing and the facts are one thing.
Okay. Thank you so much, Yaki. Let's hear from this other person here. Good morning. Okay, Dr. Joma, yes, you just have a minute now to just wrap up quickly, please.
Yeah. So, it's like the rule of thumb. Here, I'm indebted 30,000. What's the best way? We know government faced with constraint. Do we want a situation where I will have support from partners out there? If you read the letter to the president, to His Excellency President Weah, somebody will come on. Definitely someone will come on and say, well, let's take the government to task for humiliation, abuse, arbitrary arrest. There are records to all of these. And then at the end of the day, is it 3 million that the government would choose to pay, or 30,000?
That's a good question.
So I want to appeal to His Excellency. He is a friend of mine. We schooled together in 1983. Honorable McGill is a minister. He's a secretary to the president. He also we went to school at the university. We're all there in the yearbook, boarding class. Minister Tue. Even the meeting that we held, there was a meeting that was held via WhatsApp when Honorable McGill was in America with Tomalin George from Spoon, Witherspoon, along with Janga Kawo, Minister McGill. King Samuel Tua was also on the line, and I was on the line. And I heard Minister McGill started to talk up. He phoned Janga Kawo and said, look, we owe Dr. Joma his money. Let's pay him his money. So let's go and check. He said that. And Dr. Sumo is there. It's only Dr. Sumo making the request because Janga Kawo said it. Say, Sumo, just make the request. Make the request, and we'll see how we can pay Dr. Joma his money. Sumo has yet to do that. When I approached him in his office, he said, Dr. Joma, I'm sitting in a kind of hot seat. It's political. And mind you, Sumo has been a very, very good friend of mine. He still is. Okay. The division only came in August when he got appointed. And here he start to tell a guy him.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Sumo.
It's my appeal.
Thank you so much. He's Dr. Joma there, not Sumo, but Dr. Joma. Yaki, we gotta go. Thank you. There's no time. Thank you, and thanks to all of you who participated on the program this morning. We appreciate all of you for your contribution. This is Liberia. We hope that you've learned some lessons, you've gotten some information regarding this particular, development involving this doctor, and the government can come in quickly to address this situation. My name is Matthias Labinde. Thanks for being there with us. Join us this afternoon from 3 to 4 for another edition of the program, Nothing to Hide.
For the Afghan government.
Nunes with the BBC News. A Chinese court has jailed a Canadian businessman for 11 years for spying countries. The Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said the sentence given to Michael Spavor was unjust and absolutely unacceptable. A former Canadian diplomat, Michael Kovrig, is also awaiting trial.